What is SEO? We're just remembering back and knowing that it's the art that helps you increase your ranking in Google, so that influences the total number of clicks you receive, right? Because we're looking to get you more traffic to your website. Now, Google Search Console only takes into account Google information. Quick overview of what we're going to do today, which I already said. We're going to focus on just going through a bunch of slides about what Google Search Console is and what the things we should focus on are. The goal of this class is for you to just begin getting familiar with the tool, because it is something you're going to use on a regular basis. So what is Google Search Console? Okay. It's a free tool from Google. When I found it, it was like an aha moment. Same with Google Data Studio, but that's a later class. It was once called Google Webmaster Tools. Google changed the name and actually changed all the dashboards and moved it over so that more business owners and marketers wouldn't be so afraid to use it, because it had the word webmaster in it. So a lot of people thought only webmasters could use it. So it's more user-friendly now. And who is it for? It's for anybody that has a website. There are some great benefits to using Google Search Console. Helps you measure, monitor, maintain, optimize, fix issues, and troubleshoot. And the equivalent is Bing Webmaster Tools, which you will get an account for that too. We're going to do that in our co-working sessions. So a little bit of search speak, but you already know some of this. So queries are the keywords, right? That generate impressions when your website shows up on the search engine results pages. A click is the number of clicks from the SERPs from Google. Just from Google. Search Console only measures Google traffic. Impressions are the number of times the URL is seen in the search engine results. And that can even mean if you're on page 60, right? It still shows you. Then we have the click-through rate, which is the impressions divided by clicks. And then to get the percentage, you multiply by 100. The higher you are up in the search engine results pages, the more clicks you get, the higher your click-through rate, right? And position. This is the 1 to 10 SERP little boxes, right? Your little snippets of text. There's 1 to 10 on a page. This doesn't include the rich snippets and rich results, which are things like people also ask. We're going to look a little bit into those today, which is really interesting. And then just to preempt you for your Google Analytics journey, using Google Analytics and Google Search Console together can really help with your SEO. What you're going to be doing as an SEO is you might provide a report for your clients, but it's going to be your job to dig into the information, right? Because you're trying to pull out what's going on so you can make a plan, right? And the whole idea is to get more traffic and then convert that traffic into paying customers. Now, a little dashboard overview. There's going to be a lot in Google Search Console. We are not going over it all today. The home screen will go over when we go into the dashboard on Google Search Console. We're going to look at the performance and search and discover, the enhancements, the links, and the settings. Coverage and experience are a bit more advanced, but you're going to end up playing around, and your whole job is to just go around, click around, and get down. It's true. So performance, this is where the magic is. The performance, this is where we see click-through rate, page position, how after your website shows up, your impressions. It's how Google is seeing the pages against specific search queries, and you get that information. I always tell people that Google Search Console is what happens before somebody gets to your website, and Google Analytics is what happens after. So it's the searches people do, right? We can actually see keywords that people are searching show up in our search engine results pages. And just so you know, your SEO strategy is validated by whether or not you're driving traffic or the relevant searches, the keywords you've picked are now ranking. It is such a great feeling to pick a keyword for a blog post, write a great blog post, and then start seeing the keywords show up in Google Search Console. It is a great feeling. And then you can see if you maybe picked the wrong thing or picked the right thing. But at least you can say, hey, look what we did. So the things you can do in the performance report are comparisons and filtering. You can look at your page, like keywords to page. You can look at query report. There's a lot in there to play with, and you are going to play with it. And it's really fun. And I can't say enough good things about Google Search Console. So index. Your journey through the index, we are not going to spend much time on the index section. We are only going to spend time on sitemaps, which by the end of next week, I believe you will be submitting your own sitemaps. So I'm going to explain a little bit about them today. Coverage and removals, that's a bit advanced, so we're just going to skip it for now, because as we get used to it, we'll play more around in it. So there are two types of sitemaps. One is an XML sitemap and the other is an HTML. A sitemap is like a list of pages that basically list out your media files and your blog posts and your pages and sometimes video. And it makes it easy for bots and people to understand your website. It used to be so harder. Sitemaps, they basically help the search engines discover new content. They help the search engines figure out if you have freshness of content, which we talked about as a ranking factor, one of the reasons you might blog. And it helps them discover and prioritize pages. It is not mandatory. It is easy. So we do suggest you doing it. Some people will ask, should I do it monthly? Should I do it daily? Should I do it weekly? Should I do it yearly? There's lots of questions. I think if you get a new website, you should do it, or I'd like to do it quarterly, but when I look at what I do it about yearly, every 6 months, but it's not mandatory. So the XML sitemap, if you look over to the right-hand side here, or sorry, left-hand side, you'll see this is an XML sitemap. So it's a map, a list of information that is in the XML language, which stands for Extensive Markup Language. You do not need to know really more than this. It's pretty easy to do. You can use third-party tools. You can do it manually. The HTML sitemap used to be more important because websites used to be harder to navigate. They are not as hard to navigate. However, most people are putting their sitemaps in the footer of their page, and the sitemap basically listing out the different pages of your site so that people that visit your site can easily get to what they want. And we are just following the best practices of what Google's doing, what Apple's doing. If you look at any of those sites, on their footer is the listing out of their web pages.